Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. I'm Jester, and today we're gonna continue with day 7. We are doing all the police that saw him flee or at the end of the parade. So we're gonna continue with that. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking the videos. Your support has been great. I'm more than humbled by it, and I won't get tired of saying that. It's really awesome. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you like the video, give it a like. That will help me out a lot. So let's get right into the video.
And I just wanted to state that I'm here. I'm here under special appearance on behalf of my client, with all rights reserved.
Were you working for the city of Waukesha on November 21 of 2021?
I was. I heard via our primary channel fellow officers screaming hysterically on the radio, requesting people to respond to the downtown area and the parade route.
What did you do?
Upon arrival, to describe what was just absolute chaos. As I exited my fleet, I looked east and westbound on Main Street. There were civilian subjects lying on the ground in every direction I looked, screaming, yelling, etc. In the vicinity where I was, I ran into Officer Skolton. He advised that he had fired rounds at a red Ford SUV, specifically an Escape, and he subsequently said that we needed to find the vehicle.
So where did you go to look for the vehicle?
Near Donny Boy's Tavern on Main Street. I subsequently observed a male Hispanic running towards me, waving his hands frantically to garner my attention. And as I asked him what he needed, he subsequently stated he knew where the vehicle was. And I subsequently told him to get into my squad car and began traveling with him. We traveled approximately 2 blocks to the area where I subsequently located the vehicle in the driveway.
How did you know it was the vehicle you were looking for?
Based off what Officer Skolton had previously described to me, I observed a heavily damaged red Ford Escape in the driveway of 338 Maple. Additionally, I observed a bullet hole in the windshield on the passenger side.
Is this a photograph you took?
Yes, ma'am, I took this photograph.
Move to admit permission to publish, Your Honor.
Objection.
Just want to say,
Exhibit 99, received permission to publish, is granted, the objections overruled.
So here on
I just want to say that's really awesome by the community of Waukesha. That they stuck together even with the chaos and all the commotion that was going on. They still did their part, and I that's really awesome.
the hood near the windshield was a hat, and then clearly seen hanging from the driver's side mirror is a headband that's partially illuminated.
The front of the vehicle, it appears to me that the front bumper is laying on the ground. Is that accurate, sir?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, you may answer.
Yes, ma'am, that's accurate.
So to your knowledge, no one had touched or disturbed this vehicle, at least since the time you were present, before you photographed it?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled, you may answer.
To my knowledge, no, there was no manipulation of this vehicle prior to my arrival.
Okay. And at some point, did you look inside the vehicle?
Due to the nature of what was happening and the exigency of trying to identify who may have been inside the vehicle, I did locate documentation of identifying in nature.
And do you remember the name on that paperwork?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What was the name on the paperwork inside the vehicle?
The name on the paperwork inside the vehicle was one Darrell Edward Brooks, Jr., male black, date of birth 2/21 of 1982.
Got him.
In fact, was there more than one piece of paper inside the vehicle containing that same personal identifying information?
Notice that now that he said his full name, Darrell Edward Brooks Jr., he didn't say it. I don't consent to being called that name. That's kind of curious.
Objection, speculative.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes, ma'am, there was more than one item.
I don't see a front license plate in this photograph. Do you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Where's the license plate?
This is actually the license plate
Okay.
on the front.
Not from the photograph, but from your recollection, was the rear license plate clearly visible?
Objection, leading.
What?
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes, ma'am, the rear license plate was clearly visible in the vehicle.
What information did you learn about the registration of this vehicle?
The vehicle displayed a Wisconsin registration plate of A. Adam D. David P. Paul 9256, which listed to a Don L. Woods out of the city of Milwaukee.
Do you remember the approximate location of the street where Don Woods lived?
Objection. Hearsay. Irrelevant.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No, I do not recall that information.
You just remember City of Milwaukee.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. And the vehicle was registered to Don Woods solely.
Objection. Leading.
Not
We
leading.
can see who's it related to.
The objections are noted. I'll sustain as to the form of the question and ask Attorney Upper to rephrase.
You got one.
Was the registration only in one person's name?
From what I understand, it was.
Okay. Do you know the relationship between Don Woods and Darrell Brooks?
Objection. Speculation.
It's not a speculation.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No, ma'am, I do not know the relationship.
He didn't even know anyway.
As that was occurring, are you aware of other police activity that was occurring nearby?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And what was that, please?
I had heard via police radio Officer Luling advised that he was out with a subject in the 500 block of Elizabeth Street, which is just a couple blocks away.
And did you hear Officer Luling indicate a name for the subject that he was out with?
Yes, I did.
And what was that name?
Officer Luling aired over police radio that he was out with a male subject identifying himself as Darrell Brooks.
Identifying himself.
You stated that you were flagged down by a Hispanic male running at you waving his hands. Would that be fair to say?
That's
oh,
correct.
he almost did it. I'm
Do you
sorry.
recall his-
I'm sorry. You guys, I know you guys in the comments said that I have to drop this, but this, he almost, he just had to button it up when he stand up, and he didn't do it.
Name,
I do.
and would you state it for the jury and for the record?
His name is Abel Liscato.
You stated that Mr. Liscano got into your vehicle and you traveled to where the vehicle was located. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Right.
Did you learn any additional information from Mr. Liscano? How do you say it, Liscano?
Liscano.
Liscano. Did you learn during your travel to where the vehicle was located? Did you learn any additional information from Mr. Liscano?
Not while we were traveling to the vehicle.
So you traveled to the vehicle in complete silence?
No, he was trying to direct me with the location of the red Ford Escape.
Right.
Did he say he saw anyone driving the vehicle?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustain.
Here we go with the hearsay.
So all he told you was where the vehicle was. He didn't tell you if he saw anyone driving?
Objection, hearsay.
Grounds.
The witness may answer the question as long as he does not answer with hearsay. Go ahead. Overruled.
Can you restate your question, please?
So all that the Mr. Liscano already told you was the location of the vehicle, not if he saw anyone driving?
I object. That question calls for hearsay response, Your Honor.
I would agree hearing that again. Sustained.
It's like he can object 1,000 times to hearsay, but he doesn't know what it is.
Did he at all tell you that he saw someone in the vehicle?
Objection, hearsay.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustained?
It's hearsay.
It's hearsay to ask him what Mr. Liscano told him would
And
be
she even
hearsay.
explains that. And he's upset that she's telling him what hearsay is. What?
So all Mr. Liscano did was just direct you to the vehicle.
That's correct.
That's all you guys talked about during your
Ask and answer.
trip to the vehicle.
Objection, asked and answered.
Grounds.
Sustained. It was asked, and I previously sustained the objection. So next question, please.
Do you recall Mr. Liscano yelling that there were subjects standing outside of the building where
Objection, Your
near
Honor.
the
Hold
vehicle
on. I'm going to
was?
excuse the jury while I take up a legal issue. All rise for the jury, please. Thank you. Be seated. Mr. Brooks, before I have you question this witness any further, it sounds like to me that you are attempting to offer through this witness the statements made by Mr. Lascano. If that is what you are trying to do, you may not do that. You will have to call Mr. Lascano as a witness if you so choose, if he's on your witness list. But that your questions are seeking to elicit hearsay from this witness.
Yep.
That's why I had the jury removed so I could explain
You don't
my
have to
ruling
explain, Judge.
and why I'm going to direct you not to ask this witness questions about what Mr. Lascano may or may not have said.
I'm reading directly from his report.
That would be double hearsay then. You're attempting to
Double
establish
hearsay.
the veracity of something Mr. Lascano either said or didn't say through another witness. That is hearsay.
So it's not hearsay for the prosecutor to bring up.
I'm not going to talk about other rulings. There's been an objection by the state, and I'm sustaining the objection, and I'm directing you not to ask this witness questions that would call for this witness to say what Mr. Lascano said. That is hearsay. That is textbook hearsay, Mr. Brooks.
And then I don't think it's fair for
What do you
for
mean
me
that's
to
not
object
fair?
to hearsay from the prosecution about along the lines of the same type
Again,
of thing.
I'm not going to have a debate on what may have come in previously. I know you've made a number of hearsay objections, many of which the answers that were being provided were not hearsay. But I would direct your attention to 908.01 of the Wisconsin statutes. You have that book in front of you that I provided to you a number of days ago.
Asking Darrell to read a book that's not a thing that's gonna happen.
At the
Look at
beginning
that.
of this trial, or near the beginning of this trial, there's the definitional section of the statutes, which defines hearsay.
What is he doing?
And then if you go on to
I don't need to read it. I know what hearsay is.
908.02,
I know what hearsay is.
that's obviously one you may want to look at as well. And
don't
then
need to look at it. I know what it
908.03
is.
has the exception. So unless you can
Clearly.
give me an exception,
No,
sir,
clearly
as
you
to
don't.
why this witness should be allowed to answer those questions, I'm gonna again
I'm
direct you
reading
not to ask
directly
these
from
questions.
his report.
That's double
the report
hearsay.
that he wrote. Nothing is coming from. I'm reading directly from his report. That's what I have in
Doesn't
front
change
of
the
me.
fact that it's hearsay.
You said what?
That doesn't change the fact that it's hearsay.
So
It
his
actually
report
creates
is
another
hearsay?
level of hearsay. It's
No,
an
that's not
out of
what
court
she said.
statement.
So
Not
his-
this witness made, but what another witness made. So you have to.
So I can't read from his report that he wrote.
That's not what she
you
said.
can't ask this witness questions that call for a hearsay answer unless there's no objection from the state. Or you can convince me there's an exception to the hearsay rule that applies. Do you have an exception you'd like to offer to the court?
So I might as well not read the report that he wrote then
Then
if I
don't.
can't question him about the report that he wrote.
That's not what she
That's
said.
you're misunderstanding, sir, what is hearsay.
Yep.
And I all I can tell you is I'm sustaining the objection. I'm going to bring the jury back out, and we'll go from there.
He's mad.
All right, Madam Clerk, bring the
He
jury out.
doesn't get it.
Clear bias. Clear bias.
Mr. Brooks, I understand
I
you
don't-
may
I don't
disagree
consent to
with
or agree to
the.
being called that name.
He just buttoned his suit while he was sitting down. I'm crying. I'm actually literally crying right now. he just buttoned his.
For the record, again, I'm here as a third-party intervener on behalf of my client. I don't know why that's not understood by now.
They have to understand everything, but you have to understand nothing. Sure.
So I guess I can't bring up the plaintiff either, huh?
No, you can't.
Tacit agreement.
Tacit agreement to what?
All right.
He loves to look at the table.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Continue with your question, sir.
I gotta tread lightly.
The jury will disregard that last comment
I don't know why.
and that one as well.
Thought it was-
It's not your opportunity to testify. You'll be given an
I'm not
opportunity should
testifying.
you choose
I'm
later,
not
sir.
testifying.
But
You're saying
please
stuff.
question the witness.
If
Thank
I
you.
could ever get to it, I'll do that.
And again, the jury will disregard that statement. It's not evidence.
You made reference to a hat being on the hood. Can we pull Exhibit 99 up again?
He's really mad right now. And now he's bringing up pictures of what he did. I've been reading the comments, and I know you guys been saying that he likes to put evidence against himself.
Are you asking the state to do that, sir?
Yeah, can it please be pulled up and
Sure.
published?
Please.
It can.
Wow.
And it will. The jury can let me know when it's on the screens in the jury box, please.
He's so angry. And you can see the rage right now.
All right. It's in the jury box. Continue, please.
You testified to this being the hat, right?
That's correct.
And from this picture, can you tell what that is?
Not specifically.
So how do we know if that's a hat from looking at this picture?
From looking at this picture, it would be difficult to determine if that's actually a hat.
So it'd be fair to say you don't know what that is.
He knows what that is by his recollection.
Based on this picture, you're
Based
right.
on this picture.
Based on this picture, I'm not able to determine what that item is.
Would it be also fair to say we can't even determine if that's outside or inside of the vehicle at that point?
I would disagree and say that is on the exterior of the vehicle,
And how
between
would
the
you make
hood.
that assumption if you can't tell what it is?
Objection, argument.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the
One
question.
thing is knowing what it is and knowing
Can
where
you-
it is. Different.
Clear that.
Please.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
You can definitively say from this picture that you can tell where the item is based on this picture.
Yes. You said that.
Yes.
Are you going off what you found or what you can see from the picture?
You can see.
I can see from this picture that that item is on the exterior of the vehicle between the hood that is destroyed and the windshield.
So it's on the hood?
That's not what he said.
It is between the hood and the windshield
There
of the
you go.
vehicle.
And you can tell that from this picture.
Yes.
Objection as an answer.
Grounds.
Argumentative.
Sustained as to both grounds.
And from this picture, you can tell what this is.
Yes.
Just from the picture.
Yes.
Yes.
And how do you come to that determination?
Based on the fact that it's hanging on the exterior of the vehicle from the driver's side mirror, that it is in the shape of a headband and it is partially illuminated in this photograph with LED lighting.
It could be fair to say that it's anything. Would you not
No.
say that that's fair? Just from looking at the picture, it doesn't necessarily say, or it's not 100% identifiable from this picture. Would that be fair to say?
No.
Objection, compound question.
Sustained as to the form of the question. Please rephrase.
Just from strictly looking at this picture, you can't positively say what the item is.
Yes.
And that's a mischaracterization of his testimony.
Sustained. Please rephrase.
Clear the photo.
Please.
You're asking Madam Clerk to please
Clear the
clear it?
photo.
Wow.
Mr. Brooks, I'd ask that you show some deference to my clerk and not bark orders at her and use simple courtesy. Thank you. And thank you, Madam Clerk.
Will I be awarded the same, Your Honor?
Please ask your next question,
Will I
sir.
be awarded the same, Your Honor?
Then
Please
why-
ask your next question.
I will. I just want to know if I'll be awarded the,
I have
awarded the
been.
same.
That's really unfair because even if he has a problem with the judge, which he shouldn't, he's just helping him the whole time. It's not. But why would you be mad with the clerk. She's just doing her job. She cleared the screen. Why can't you be just a normal guy?
You did state that you cleared the area. Would that be fair to say?
No, I said I cleared the vehicle, not the area.
Did you clear the area?
Eventually, we did clear the back portion of the residence to ensure there were no suspects or victims.
Who is we?
Persons of law enforcement.
Yeah.
So would it be fair to say when you found the vehicle that you didn't locate anyone inside the vehicle?
Correct. No one was located inside the vehicle at that time.
And you also stated that you cleared the vehicle for possible threats to yourself. If no one was in the vehicle, what did you need to clear the vehicle of? What would be the threat?
Based on, again, as I earlier stated, what had occurred in the downtown, plus the fact that Officer Skolin had fired rounds at this vehicle, I was unsure who or what may be inside the vehicle. Given the time of day, as it was becoming dusk, it was getting harder to see outside. So to ensure my own safety, I cleared it the way I earlier stated.
So would it be fair to say that, well, let me back up. You took this photo, correct?
That is correct.
So that would mean you were, at least by that time, sure that no one was in the vehicle. Would that be fair to say?
That is correct.
Sure.
So did you clear the vehicle before taking the picture or afterward?
I cleared the vehicle before I took the photograph.
Good.
Did you do any other investigating after you had took this photo?
Yeah.
Can you rephrase the question?
Did you do any other investigating after you took this photo?
Yes, the same thing.
After the photographs were collected of the vehicle in place from multiple angles, I did locate identifying information inside the vehicle.
What I'm asking is, so let me back up. So that was the extent of your investigation was finding whatever you found in the vehicle at that point.
Correct.
Grounds.
I'll withdraw.
Thank you.
Correct.
So when you were clearing the vehicle, would it be fair to say that you could have done the same investigational work at that time?
What?
No, that would not be fair to say.
And why not?
Because when you're clearing a vehicle to ensure that there are no threats to you, you're not looking for anything specific as far as evidentiary value. You're looking for a threat to your person.
So you would clear the vehicle of threats after being in the vehicle to do that, and then go back into the vehicle and look for, or start investigating rather.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh.
Why not do them all at once? Is that a procedural thing or
You just explained that.
Asked and answered, Your Honor. I object.
grounds?
Sustained. Next question.
Would that be the same protocol if you were searching a home?
Objection relevance.
Grounds?
Sustained.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
Grounds for the sustain?
Doesn't matter.
Relevance.
Between the time that you were flagged down with the location of the vehicle until you actually observed the vehicle, you stated that you don't believe the vehicle was touched in any way in that time?
That's
Objection.
not
That's
what
in
he
his
said.
statement of his testimony. Your Honor.
Grounds, you said something similar to that.
Sustained.
At the time you located the vehicle, were you aware of any suspect or name of suspect?
No, I was unaware of any names of any suspect involved in the incident at the time I located the vehicle.
And when did you learn of that information, if you learned of that information?
He testified to that.
I only learned the information of a possible suspect upon locating the identifying documents inside the vehicle and subsequently providing that information to dispatch.
At the time you found that information, did you immediately regard that information to be the possible suspect?
Yes, since it was in the
Yes.
vehicle that was heavily damaged, the red Ford Escape with the bullet hole in the windshield, yes, I believe that that information indeed belonged to a suspect.
You found identifying paperwork in your investigation of the vehicle. Did that information match the identity of who the vehicle was registered to?
No, the identifying information again for Mr. Brooks that was inside the vehicle did not match the registration on file with Wisconsin Department of Transportation for the registration of the vehicle, which was Don L. Woods.
For the record, I don't identify by that name. Yet again, stating that for the record.
Doesn't matter.
For the record, the jury will disregard that commentary by the defendant, and it also mischaracterizes the witness's testimony.
It does not. I was just stating for the record.
Again, the jury will disregard that
So-
commentary as Mr. Brooks is not presently testifying.
The information you found in the car, the vehicle was not registered to that person, correct?
That's
what he
correct.
said.
So there's a possibility that at any time, multiple people can utilize that vehicle. Would that be fair to say?
Objection.
I just want to say this. And I love the pause that I did there. But I just want to say this. The guy didn't say Darrell Brooks did it. The guy said Darrell Brooks is a suspect because his information is in that car. That doesn't mean you did it, my guy. That doesn't mean that just means that Elwoods and Darrell Brooks are suspects because they're related to that car.
Grounds.
Calls for speculation. Sustained.
Would you agree that a vehicle registered to one person and information found by another person constitutes that more than one person used the vehicle?
Objection.
Grounds.
Go ahead.
The
Grounds.
the question was, does that prove that more than one person could drive the car? That's an improper question.
That wasn't the question.
Well, sustained as to the form of the question and assumes facts not in evidence.
Is it fair to say that people leave all types of information in family members' vehicles at any time?
Objection. Irrelevant speculation.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain.
Ask your next question, Mr. Brooks, please.
May I have the grounds, please?
The objection has been sustained. Ask your next question, please.
May I have the grounds?
The court's not answering that. The record is self-evident.
Is that a tacit agreement?
Sir, I don't know what a tacit agreement is, so
There
please
you
keep
go.
going.
No one knows what a tacit agreement is.
Clearly know what it is.
Are you done? Plaintiff questions?
Would it be fair to say, and this is along the lines of the same question, would it be fair to say that at some point you've left items in other people's vehicles?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relation irrelevant.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain?
Next question, please, sir. I've sustained this question multiple times, multiple
wasn't
ways
the
you've
same
asked it.
question.
Next question, please.
May I have the grounds?
90611, sir.
May I have the grounds?
Yes, those are the
Next
grounds.
question, please.
Is it to relevancy? Is it to hearsay?
Under 90611, ask your next question or I will cut off your cross-examination. Please ask your next question,
I
sir.
Cut him
have
off.
to give the grounds, though, Your Honor.
No, he doesn't.
Especially if I'm merely just asking for the grounds of the sustain.
Sir,
Cut him
ask
off.
your next question.
What's the point of me asking questions if I can't ask anything?
The jury will disregard his commentary that he just stated right now.
Did any of the people that you spoke with give any reason to why the suspects that they identified would run from the scene?
Objection. Speculation
Grounds.
also calls for hearsay.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Grounds.
Next question, sir.
He's getting really mad.
And did you go back to your department after leaving from the scene where you found the vehicle?
Yes, I was directed by my command staff to return to the police department as the scene was still secured by other law enforcement officers of various agencies.
And were you instructed to make contact with anyone at that point?
Yes, upon arrival to the police department, I was directed to make contact with District Attorney Sue Opper.
And when you say Sue Opper, are you referring to District Attorney Sue Opper?
Yeah, there's only one right
Yes,
now.
that's what I said.
Is she here in court today?
Yes, she is.
Can you point her out for the jury?
She's
Why?
seated at the prosecution
They know
table
who she
wearing the
is.
gray cardigan.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified Attorney Opper.
No objection, Your Honor.
The record will so reflect.
And do you recall what the nature of the contact was with Attorney Opper?
Yes, I was directed to locate Attorney Opper in the downtown area at the scene of the parade incident and subsequently transport her back to the City of Waukesha Police Department.
Did you continue that contact after picking her up? And let me back up. Where did you go after picking up Attorney Opper?
As I stated, once I picked her up, I transported her back to the City of Waukesha Police Department.
And did you continue to have contact at that point?
I did. District Attorney Opper and I worked together to draft a search warrant for the 2010 red Ford Escape SUV that was in the driveway of 338 Maple Street.
Good.
Initially, when you secured the vehicle and then investigated the vehicle after securing it, what did you need to search for at that point that you needed a search warrant?
After I had cleared the vehicle and located those items of identifying nature, that was done due to the exigency of the event and identifying any outstanding suspects. After that was done and photographed in place, I resecured the vehicle and it was no longer touched at that point. So therefore, later on, it was required to have a search warrant to continue processing that vehicle.
Yeah, more evidence.
What, if anything new, did you need to search for?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
It's
Call
not
roll.
bad.
He may answer.
The basis of the search warrant was to ensure that, again, any items of evidentiary value I may have overlooked.
What did you feel would be of evidentiary value at that point that you hadn't already observed before?
A DNA.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Grounds.
Argumentative.
Grounds. I'm referring to him stating the evidentiary value.
Asked and answered. Sustained.
So what was the evidentiary value that you were looking for
Same
with
objection.
with the search warrant?
You said
It's
you have the
same
same
question in a different
question.
way, so I'm going to sustain it. It's been asked, it's been answered. Next question, please.
Can you give an example of what evidentiary value is?
What? Why?
Something of evidentiary value can really be anything that's pertinent to the case. An example would be like a shell casing or a spot of blood that can render DNA results, things of that nature.
Did you find any of those things when obtaining the search warrant?
Objection.
Grounds.
Well, that's factually inaccurate, Your Honor.
It assumes a fact, not an evidence. I'll sustain the objection as to the form of the question.
Did you find, upon obtaining the search warrant, were you able to find anything of evidentiary value?
Same objection. Assumes a
Grounds.
fact, not an evidence, Your Honor.
Sustained. It assumes facts, not an evidence. Please rephrase and establish a foundation related to whether this witness
Don't tell him what to
performed
do.
that subsequent search.
He's not gonna do it anyway.
Is it a standard protocol that, being that you were the one that obtained the search warrant, is it usually a thing where you don't have to be the one to execute it? Any other officer can execute it?
Based on the requirement of the search warrant to process this vehicle for items of evidentiary value, that's beyond the scope of my training and experience. So therefore, it was relayed to persons that are capable of actually doing that.
Yeah, CSI.
You said it's beyond your level, or so, I didn't catch where you said it was beyond your level or something.
It's beyond my scope of training and experience.
Beyond your scope of training. What made this particular search warrant different than any ones you've ever written or obtained before?
What?
This particular search warrant was for a search of the vehicle involved in the Christmas parade incident. And given the gravity of the situation and the resulting effects of what this vehicle was used for, persons that are highly skilled in collecting items of evidentiary value are obviously the people we want to do that rather than a patrol officer.
Yeah.
And
Experts.
you were able to get that search warrant signed, correct?
That's correct.
Do you remember by whom?
Yes.
Can you state for the record and for the jury?
At that time of the search warrant, the on-call judge was contacted, and the on-call judge was the Honorable Jennifer Darrell.
That would be the judge right now in the courtroom.
Yes, that's correct.
After your part of the investigation ended, were you able to obtain any more information that you didn't know the night of your investigation?
Objection, vague, cause for speculation.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain, Your Honor.
Please ask your next
Listen.
question.
When were you aware that it was a possibility that you could be called to testify in this matter?
When I received a subpoena to testify in this manner.
Excuse me, I didn't.
When I received a subpoena to testify in this manner.
Was that subpoena served to you by the district attorney's office?
Yes, it was.
Was it served by Attorney Iper?
I don't recall who served me directly. I believe it was via electronic.
Do you recall when you received that subpoena?
I don't recall the exact date, but it was a few months ago.
He's out of questions. He's gonna go for the plaintiff stuff now. It's like clockwork.
Would you by chance know who the plaintiff is in this
I
matter?
knew it. I
Grounds.
knew it.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Ever seen or talked to the plaintiff? Had any physical interaction with the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, vague, and compound
Grounds.
question.
Sustained.
You even know if there's a plaintiff in this matter?
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
Cut him off.
Sustained.
You know who filed the complaint in this matter?
The complaint was filed by the district attorney's office.
Do you know if it was filed by Attorney Iper?
I don't know particularly who filed the complaint. I just know it was by the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office.
And during your time in law enforcement, would it be fair to say that whoever files the complaint is a party to the matter?
What?
Objection,
Grounds.
beyond the scope of the witness's knowledge, Your Honor.
Sustained. Next question. please.
Grounds for the sustain, Your Honor?
Next question, please.
That's what he yelled.
Any reason why the state of Wisconsin would be identified as the plaintiff when they did not file the complaint?
Objection, argumentative, misstatement of the law.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Grounds.
Grounds for the sustain, Your Honor.
Ask your next question, please.
Was that the grounds?
Next
That's
question,
your next
please.
question.
The jury deserves to know this.
The jury will disregard that last statement.
We need to know.
I've sustained the objection, sir. Ask your next question, please.
I'm aware that it was a sustain. I'm aware. I just
Sustain.
wanted to know the grounds. You can't keep hiding stuff from the jury.
Mr. Brooks, the court is not hiding
Cut him off.
anything from anyone, and the jury will disregard that last statement. It is not evidence in any way in this case.
Would it be fair to say that any case has a plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
Lack of foundation beyond the scope of the witness's knowledge.
Sustained.
Would it be? Can I rephrase the question?
You can ask the question.
Go ahead. I can't say whether it will be answered or not, but you can go ahead
But
and rephrase it.
I can't rephrase, just so we're clear. Whether it's answered or not, I can still rephrase the
Ask your
question.
question.
I don't know what the question will be, sir, so I can't make a ruling that's advisory. So ask your next question, please.
Are you aware that in any case brought into a courtroom, there has to be a plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
Same question.
Grounds is
It
not
also
the same
misstates the
question.
law, so sustained.
There's no plaintiff. How's their case?
That's commentary.
Move to strike.
That's testifying.
The jury will disregard the last comment and statement made by Mr. Brooks.
Grounds.
What grounds of
There's a
what?
defendant, there has to be a
Of the
plaintiff.
law. It's not relevant. This jury will be the judge of the facts. The court is the judge of the law. Please continue, sir, or under 90611, I will stop the cross-examination.
If there's a defendant, there has to be a plaintiff.
Mr. Brooks,
Cut him
please
off.
stop. The jury will also disregard that statement. It's a mischaracterization of the law. It's a misstatement of the law.
Based on what law or fact, Your Honor?
And I'll address that with Mr. Brooks once again after the jury has been excused. One final time, you may ask another question. Otherwise, I will, and it must not be along the same lines, or under 90611, I will ask the state whether there's any redirect.
3 hours later.
Do you know of anyone who filed a claim in this matter?
Cut him off.
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
Grounds.
It's also vague, so I'll sustain it.
So the grounds is vagueness.
And relevance.
Is it vague or is it relevant?
Both.
Sustained, Mr. Brooks. Next question.
And have you seen any news reports?
Objection,
Re-
relevance.
Can I finish the question?
No.
I'm going to sustain
Relevant.
the objection without hearing the rest of the question. I don't see how it would have any relevance. I'll let you make an offer of proof after we're outside the presence of the jury, and if necessary, you can recall this witness. Next question.
In that case, then, since that is stated on the record, no further questions. I would like to finish at some point.
At some
Sir,
point.
finish your cross-exam
I
as to
just
that
said no
limited.
further questions.
Okay, but as to that limited topic only. So if there are other things outside that topic, please finish your questioning.
I just said 2 times. I'm going to say it again. No
Wow.
further questions.
All right, thank you then, sir. State have any redirect?
No, nothing else. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
All right. That was wild. That was a wild response. I don't know how the judge allows him to do that. But in any case, we're gonna come back tomorrow. We're gonna finish. I think we can finish tomorrow with day 7. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.